Ride through the city like Brennan Shaw. I'm on a mission to get it all. Ride through the city like Brennan Shaw. If you ain't thick, please don't get involved.
And now, Brandon Thick Boy Shaw.
Yes, it's Monday morning. Monday morning, January 3rd. This is officially the first episode of the Shop Show, aka Below the Belt, aka Big Brown Breakdown. But we're not, it's the first Shop Show. It's the same show I've been doing for years and years now. It's just rebranded, man, because your boy is on his own. Your boy is on his own, Mr. Independent. Yeah, shout out to Showtime. Thanks for all the years. But now we riding, man. Now we riding unfiltered, unedited. We're not going to play any of those games. You're eating your boy here raw. Raw dog. Here we are. Yeah, man. Super excited. Really, so this is episode 267, Chin?
267.
267 if you count the Below the Belts with Showtime. We're not starting with number one because it's the same show. But really, if you even go back further with the Big Brown Breakdowns, this is 267. This is probably episode 300 something if you include the Big Brown Breakdowns. Because once a week. So I guess Fire and Kid were on episode 700 something, but really that's over 1,000. If you include the Fox Sports and the ones Brian and I initially did out of his garage, that's over 1,000. I think King on the Stings on what? King Stings on almost 200?
Yeah. I'm going to just double check real quick.
Last King the Sting was
3 days ago. That was.
So if you scroll down though, they're on 150. Was it 150 what?
Hold on, let me look. Let me just do this real quick.
It's not going to say on there. Go back, Jen. And then if you go to the Christmas one, just scroll over. It says the number right to the there. 153.
So 150.
So 154. Once a week, not bad, man. Not bad at all.
Oh, duh. Best of Cats.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was trying to get to.
Oh, yeah, I got you.
So really, that's 154, the best of.
Yeah.
But it's not a new episode, so I'm with you. We're on 153. I get what you're doing there, Nicky D. Nicky Boy. I guess Nicky D works. His name's Nick Davis.
Yeah.
That works, man. How was your New Year's, Jen?
It's good. Just chill.
Did you even stay up to midnight?
Yeah. And then, everyone's getting sick right now, dude. Like, everybody getting sick. Which I think is a good thing. Shows we're at the end of the pandemic, but also not a doctor. So we just FaceTimed all our friends and took shots together.
Oh, wow. Instead of getting together?
Yeah. Just to be safe.
Sure, that's fair.
Hey.
Do what you want, man.
Yeah.
Do what you want. We brought the New Year's in, I think for the third or fourth year in the row on stage. And so we're in Dania, Florida, brand new club, beautiful club out there. And they gave us bottles of, that's me and David there, Dania, me and my boy David. And he actually has a show dropping on Thick Boy called Flatline with David Lucas, where if you've ever followed David on Instagram, if you're not, he's a great follow, but if you ever followed David, he does a thing where people go Instagram live and they get roasted. He goes through a million, tons of people roast them. I was like, dude, this is a show. So we're launching it. I think, is it next week? Is it next week? It's sometime in January. It'll be on Thick Boy channel. It's called Flatline with David Lucas, and he'll do it on his end, but it's fans are going to call him to get roasted, and he is a straight savage. He's one of the few comics where we sit in the back hoping somebody yells something out so he lights him up. But yeah, he's the gift of the roasting, the roast master himself. Obviously, Jeff Ross is the roast master, but David is right there. He is a monster. So his show will launch on Thick Boy this month, which we're looking forward to. I bought that shirt. I dressed like Don Shula in the 70s when I was on stage. But yeah, so we brought the New Year's in, and they gave us champagne. But the way they do it now, they give you champagne, and it's not the bottle. I'm sure they still make those bottles. You know the bottles you got to like take a knife and hit the corkscrew, and it goes flying, hits them in the fucking face, something like that. Yep. They didn't want that, so these ones you turn, they kind of just like pop off. But then we start celebrating like it was goddamn, like we won an F1 race. And so someone put, what that knee do, baby? And then someone said, meet me at ACL surgery, baby. Dude, So me and David had the bottles, and we're shaking it. That's his girl in the back there. But we're shaking it and spraying each other and spraying the fans. And then I don't want to spray his girl. And I see Justin. Justin always has a fly outfit on, and I know how expensive it was, so I didn't want to ruin his clothes. So I'm like spraying, just trying to avoid people, but it's going all over the floor. And for whatever reason, Justin decided to run. It's at Justin Uncut, but he decided to run, and he ate all the shit. He ate so. This video doesn't do it justice. He hit the ground so goddamn hard. He fucked up all the plants. A random coffee cup came flying out and broke. David was straight up in tears, laughing so goddamn hard. Hit that video, too. Look, boom! With my boy Luis Diaz. Shout out to Luis. Look, David, I'm talking, laughed for probably 30 minutes, like tears coming out of his eyes. Justin ate shits.
It's like a slow shit fall too.
Oh, dude, but it was so loud. Like that video, I don't know who took that video.
That's awesome.
Maybe a fan did. But I decided to go inside because I was spraying the thing, and then there's just some bro in the front row going like this. And I was like, oh, okay, I don't want to bring in my New Year's with this visual. So I went back to the green room. Yeah, man, Danny was dope. Danny was really cool. There's me and my bro at the beach. Chappelle was actually there, but he didn't want to get in the water. Look at Callan. Brothers. Here's the thing. So I said the Florida Splash Bros ran to a Man-O-War jellyfish, aka Satan Bubble of the Sea. Go over to the Man-O-War. So this thing's chilling there.
Water, but check this out. You gotta be careful. Watch out.
So you can't see, but the tentacles are under the sand and they go far. And I told my brother, was like, it's just a jellyfish. I'm like, that's a Man-O-War. So we looked it up, and it is a Man-O-War. And then the most painful jellyfish. But here's the problem, not the problem, the thing with social media. So this guy, Marquez 25216, put relax, the fucking blue bottle. Laughing emoji. Not even a top 10 of ouchy things in Australian waters. Yeah, dude. Because Australia has tons of shit that can kill you. But when we're chilling the Fort Lauderdale, that bath water of an ocean, and we run in a Man-O-War, we freak out. We're not used to that shit out here, man. And then I love animals, so I wanted to save it. So I tried grabbing a seashell and tossed him back in the ocean so he didn't die, because obviously he got washed upon the shores. But there's all these kids playing, and he started heading straight for the kids. Not, he just goes with the tide. He started floating towards these fucking 5 and 8 year olds. So I had to run over to the parents, like, it's a Man-O-War. Like, how to get back in the water? I'm like, I have no idea. Save yourselves. But we looked it up, again, I know Australia's like, whatever, dude. That's like a fucking, bug bite. Dude, you look up how bad their stings hurt, and it is no joke. Here's the thing. This guy put Ian_P, but you're supposed to piss on it. That is a urban myth. You're not supposed to pee on it. It actually does nothing. They say you're actually supposed to go back in the water. You're supposed to go back in the water. The salt water helps it. I don't know who invented the piss thing. I guess if you have nothing and you just want to piss on your friend, do it. But the peeing on a jellyfish sting, hate to tell everybody, is an urban myth. It's not true in any facet.
I learned about watching Friends.
Yeah. They do it on Heartbreak Kid. His girl pisses on him. He gets stung by a jellyfish. They must fucking hurt though, man. They must hurt.
When they're colorful like this, to me, that's danger. When they're super colorful.
Dude, I know my animals. I knew that was the Man-O-War fucking off the bat. And so I was sitting there. I'm like, someone's going to fucking step on that thing. And all we did is sit there and watch it. It stressed me out.
Looks cool, though.
A little whiskey for the first episode of the Shop Show, man.
Hell yeah.
A little whiskey. See behind me, I got some of my, I don't want to say favorite whiskeys. I respect Proper 12, but not my top 70 whiskeys. But what he did with it, what Connor did with that thing, you gotta can't hate on that. So you got Proper 12 back there. You got Rear Stash, which is my boy Dustin Poirier's
That's
bourbon.
good.
It's very good. Very, very good. And he just launched that last Friday. You got Tiger Thick, definitely the best out of the ones up there. And we just signed with a huge distributor, so that's coming this year. Actually, this month, it's going to be available all over the place. And then Johnny Drum from Kentucky is personal favorite. And then up there, I want to highlight my my favorite sneaker of the month. So I'm going to switch that out every month. But that is the Nike Yeezy. When Kanye was with Nike and created shoes. And the issue with that is my boys from Suplex sent me that because I've been looking for it for around 6 years. I've been trying to get that shoe, and I got it. And problem is size 12. Your boy was 13. But I will cram my fucking big toe in there, and because pain is fashion. So it's up there so I don't get an ingrown toenail. But every month I'll switch that shoe out. Yeah, man, this is it. My boy Brian Johnson built the set. So if you're looking for a podcast set, hit up my boy Brian Johnson. He builds all my sets. King the Sting, Fighting the Kid, Shab Show, Cabas Fight Companion, Chappelle's sets. He builds every single thing that you see in the Thick Boys studio is all Brian Johnson. He's a brilliant, brilliant man.
Beast.
And he did Adam Carolla's set, Winnie Cummings set. He did the set for my special. He flew out to Dallas, built the set at the Addison Improv. And I'll have news on that special very soon for you guys. I can't wait. And Brian's a beast. Mm-hmm. Brian is a beast. But let's get to the fight world, man. What is happening in the fight world? Well, as I always like to say, they're edging us. They're taking a little break, and they're edging us with some fight nights. There's a fight night next week. But till then, the UFC kind of stays, they lay low. They lay low till you get that pay-per-view. And my God, is it a pay-per-view? And we got a Calbass Fight Companion on the Thick Boy channel, YouTube. Calbass Fight Companion with Chris DiStefano, Chris D'Elia, Brian Callen, myself for the big-ass heavyweight titles on the line. Francis Ngannou, Cyril Gane. I can't freaking wait, man. I can't remember last time I was this excited for a fight. I'm trying to think. There's nothing like two really, really good heavyweights. And I think the thing, the narrative on this, Francis has been in a different fight. Francis has been in a fight with the UFC brass, which is, whenever you're in a fight with UFC brass, you're not going to get the shine you deserve. Take a page out of Woodley's book. You take a page out of, look at even the Diaz's, man. You look at the Diaz's who, whenever you get into a dispute with the UFC, they control the narrative, unfortunately. And it's not like Francis has a big podcast and go on and rip off what's really going on. He'll do some interviews with TMZ or an outlet, or Markel, his agent at CA, who's a friend of mine. He'll do some interviews, but those aren't going mainstream. You know what I'm saying? So the UFC controls the narrative. It's a bit of a shame. Because what Francis is trying to do, I love the message. I think he's saying, hey, pay me what I deserve. He's obviously one of the scariest men to ever enter the octagon, and he wants, he sees those paydays from boxing, which is different. I think it's weird when guys reference boxing, but I don't know how it ends for him. I really don't. Can you name a guy who's gone to battle with the UFC and has won? You know what I'm saying? That's ever really, really worked out for them. It's just tough, man, because with the UFC's business model, it's not like it is back in the day where, they based and kind of made their business plan off of superstars, where you wanted to buy the big pay-per-views because that's how they made their nut every month and stuff like that. They're good now, man. They're not in cruise control because they're working their ass off, but as far as the business model, they are in cruise control because they're such a mainstream sport now. They're getting mainstream sponsors. They have the ESPN deal where they have to provide whatever it is, between 40 and 50 fights a year to them. And those pay-per-views are also on ESPN Plus that you buy on there. So ESPN's covering the nut, man. So they're chilling. They're in Teslas and they're in that cruise control and driving around collecting cash. So I think now more so than ever, fighters have it very difficult. And I think that's surprising for a lot of people because you'd think the bigger the names and the more success guys get, the more power they have. I think UFC learned from Conor McGregor. They gave that guy too much power. And although they made a ton of money, I don't think they would change anything. But I don't think they're ever going to let another guy get as much power as Conor McGregor has over the UFC. I think they learned their lesson, and he's made hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars off them. Obviously, they've probably made more off him, but I think they learned their lesson with him. And I don't know if we will get another Conor McGregor anytime soon. So for Francis, it's tough, man, because you look at it. Let's look at the two side of things that he's trying to do. Now, when we get to the fight week, we're just going to be talking about fight. I'm going to be talking about this other bullshit, but we have about 2 weeks to that fight, so let's talk about the business side. With Francis, you put yourself in Francis Ngannou's shoes, right? Heavyweight champ, beat Stipe, has some of the greatest knockouts in UFC history, opened a new market for them. You look at the champs, you look at Izzy, who's African. You look at Kamaru Usman, who's African. You look at Francis, who's African. There's obviously a market there. You look at the gate of Izzy versus Whitaker, the biggest gate of all time. So there's clearly a demand there in Australia, New Zealand, Africa. And I think they're going to start tapping the resources into Africa. So Francis has definitely kind of paved the way for that, and also Izzy. But so for Francis, he decided not to sign a long-term contract, right, and bank on himself, which completely love. That's what your boy's doing here. I put every dollar I had into Thick Boy and hiring a staff and banking on the team that I have, making this thing a success. And I think we're on the right track. So I love Francis for that. But when you talk about it, so option A, re-sign with the UFC. You re-sign with the UFC, it's going to be a 6-fight deal, most likely no less than 6 fights. You're going to get more money based off of if you're holding the title. You're going to get pay-per-view points. And I would assume Francis' team assume that he's going to stay champ for a very long time. That being said, you look at Francis Ngannou's payouts when he was champ, when he did fight Stipe, when he did fight, Derek Lewis and these other guys in Overeem. He definitely wasn't paid what he's worth, but now in renegotiations, I'm sure they're going to pay him more, but he's seeing the money that, and I think this is a good thing, that a Jake Paul is making, that a Wilder was making, an Anthony Joshua, a Fury is making. And it's trouble when you start looking at those boxers, because UFC is a completely different business model, and you can run some trouble with that. So Francis, instead of saying, I'll re-sign with you guys for 6 years, be the face of the heavyweight division, get your foot in the door into Africa and be your guy. He said, no, I'm going to bank on myself, again, which I love. But I think as his business manager, if it's legacy, not re-sign with the UFC and banking on yourself can be a little dicey, because name someone that has left the UFC and has gotten more famous and has gotten bigger and received more endorsements. I'll wait, because there's just, UFC is MMA. It just is. I know a lot of people don't want to hear this. If I was my previous employers, they would have edited this out. This is facts. If you're not fighting in the UFC, you're just not considered the best in the world. And that's not my thing. That's not Chin's thing. That's not Casey's thing. That's just the way it is. If you're not playing the NFL, you're not considered the best quarterback in the world. If you're not playing the NBA, you're not considered the best point guard in the world. If you're not playing the Premier League, or if you're not on the Olympic national team, you're not considered the best fucking whatever goalie in the world. You know what I'm saying? So the UFC sets the standards, and they have the biggest hype machine behind them, and have the deepest divisions, and there couldn't be a tougher organization to become a champion than the UFC. These other leagues, can their champs compete with the UFC champs? Yeah, I'm sure there's some guys could probably beat some of our champs. But I'm saying from 1 to 50, if you start at 50, to make it to be the number one guy is damn near impossible. You have to walk through fucking fire like no other organization in the world. And that's why any champion in the UFC is considered the very best, gets the most famous accolades, gets the most endorsement money. The purse is a little different. And I think that's why Francis is going to obviously decide not to choose option A, choose option B, fight his last fight with Cyril Gane. His team assumes he's going to win. Again, when we get close to the fight, I will break that down. I definitely think Francis has a great shot to break it down, to win that fight. Definitely his toughest fight by far in his entire career. Stylistically, it's a nightmare for him, but he can get it done, and I'll tell you how he gets it done. But they assume he's going to win and then hit the free market. Now, their business plan is when he hits the free market, I'm assuming they don't really care about his MMA career after that. He could go to Bellator, he could go to Ryzen or One Championship, or PFL or something like that, or bare knuckle. I don't know who the fuck signed up to fight Francis bare knuckle, but there's some dummies out there. But once you're out of the UFC, that kind of legacy's over, especially in America and really worldwide, unless you're, balls deep into Ryzen and, the one championship out there. And it's just not the UFC. But he's not chasing that. What his team wants is when he leaves, they're chasing a Tyson Fury fight, a Wilder fight. And why would they chase that? Do they think he's going to win? They might. And he has the power where if he were to catch one of those guys, he could possibly knock them out. But I would assume he's a 6 to 10 to 1 underdog, especially against Tyson. I would assume he's a 4 to 5 to 1 underdog against Wilder. That's being nice here. So obviously the odds are against him to win those fights. I don't think they care about that. They care about that $30 to $40 million payday. And that's what they're chasing. That's what they're banking on. I think it's scary to bank on that unless, again, I'll have to talk to Markel when I get out of here, unless they have a confirmation from Wilder, Joshua, or Fury that goes, yeah, if you have that UFC contract, we guarantee we will fight you. I haven't heard anything but guarantee. It's a big risk, man. It's a big risk. Now, also, with turning it down, and he does beat Ciryl Gane, maybe the UFC goes, okay, these numbers were fantastic. The pay-per-view numbers are huge. Maybe you do deserve more. But from my understanding, this Francis Ngannou and John Jones fight that we've all lust over and that we all are dying to see, it's my number one fight I want to see in the UFC. That didn't happen because of Francis's team. That's what I heard. And obviously John had his issues outside, but take that away. John was willing to fight Francis for the heavyweight title last year, but Francis was in negotiations with the UFC, so that's why he didn't get the fight. And I think the way the media paints the picture is that John Jones wanted to put on weight, take a year off, and do all that shit, and he turned down the fight. According to my sources, it was Francis who was waiting to get a bigger deal in order to fight John. He wanted to be paid his worth, and the UFC didn't think he was worth that. So, if you're Francis, you have option A, where you re-sign with the UFC, you win this fight, and they pay you a significantly amount more, that probably not what you're hoping for, but at least more money than what you've been getting paid. Or B, you turn down that offer and you go test the free agency and you sign a deal with Bellator or Ryzen or One Championship or PFL or Bare Knuckle or something like that, and you have a stipulation in your contract where you can fight Tyson Fury and Wilder and Joshua, and one of those fights will pay you more than any organization in the world in MMA could possibly pay you. Win, lose, or draw, you're going to get paid, and not only can you get paid, it's a big risk, especially if you can get it done. Not only can you get paid, but you can get paid twice because no one's going to sign a one-fight deal to fight Francis. There's going to be a rematch clause in there at some point because if Francis were to, again, he hits harder than anybody not named Deontay Wilder. Because if Francis were able to land one, which he definitely is capable of, he would knock either of those men out. Really into the 3 out. Joshua especially, Wilder, or Fury. I think if he were to land flush, could knock them out. They're not going to let him just ride off in the sunset. There's going to be a rematch. So, you're looking, let's be conservative. You're looking at least let's say 10 million, which would be a low payday for him to fight one of those guys. Could be a massive fucking fight, especially if he knocks out Ciryl Gane. For him to fight Tyson Fury or Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua, let's say they pay him 10 million. That's still more money in one night of boxing than he's made his entire UFC career. And if you remember when I did hot boxing with Mike Tyson and Francis, Tyson kept saying, man, you need to hire your own lawyer. You need to hire your own lawyer. You need fuck a manager. You just need a lawyer. And Francis like, dude, I don't make your money. I'm not rich, dude. You keep saying hire your own lawyer. Those guys don't work for free. He's like, I don't have that money. Mike's like, you what? He's like, that's the problem. It's like, yeah, no shit, dude. But a guy like Francis, who's the champion of the world, he's not going to hire some big time lawyer and put him on a fucking retaining fee and pay him that every month. He's just not, he doesn't make that type of money. Mike Tyson, who's making $20 to $60 million a fight, can afford to do that. And that guy's going to negotiate it. And when you're Mike Tyson, the scariest man on earth at the time, and the fights, we knew what were going to happen, you can have just a lawyer. Francis isn't there yet, man. So, and he kept saying that. I'm not making the type of money you are, dude. I'm not making the type of money. And he kept saying it. Tyson kept doubling down on it. Finally, I was like, Mike, you understand, dude. This is the UFC. I know he's the heavyweight champ, but he's making a fraction of what you made, dude. It makes no sense. Please stop saying that. But he just kept doubling down because he's Mike Tyson. So that worked out well. So yeah, I think for Francis, I appreciate him taking matters in his own hands. But I do think UFC guys, and we're going to get to Jake Paul calling out Dana White and their beef. I do think these UFC guys are becoming a little more aware of what boxers are making and guys like Jake Paul are making. And it's creating resentment for big names in the UFC because they're like, hold up, dude. I am 10 times the fucking fighter that kid is. He's making how much? And so these guys are willing to kind of battle the UFC. Now, at some point, somebody's going to win. It could be Francis. I don't know. I can't recall anybody as of late winning a war with the UFC. It usually never goes good. The good thing is France is such a beast and athletically gifted where it's not like, do you remember the best case is, remember Roger Huerta? Remember Roger Huerta? Mm-hmm. I used to train with him. Great guy. He was the first UFC fighter on Sports Illustrated. Remember there was a cage and he was like flying, kicking. The guy was fucking sick. Bring that up, Chin. Mm-hmm. Roger Huerta Sports Illustrated article. And we can use graphics now, baby. So remember Roger Huerta had the world by the balls in regards to the mixed martial arts sport. He had that Too Brutal or The Future, America's fastest growing, most controversial sport. And what year that says? What, May 2007? Is that what that says?
It's on the top or bottom?
It's right below the Sports Illustrated right there.
Okay, let's see.
What's that? Is that a 7?
I can't see. Let me look at a different one that's clear.
It has to be 2007 because I was training with him. Not when this came out. I probably trained with him a year or two after. So I started training with him in 2009, and he was seeing or dating the girl, the redhead from, what was that show Ashton Kutcher was on? That 70s show.
There you go.
2007. May 28, 2007. So I started training him. Yeah, and that's when he fought Leonard Garcia. That was UFC 68. He had the world by the balls. Mm-hmm. So he was kind of the first guy to get that kind of publicity. And yeah, he was dating her.
Laura Prepon.
He would bring her to the gym, and she was so good looking. She obviously moved on now, and good for her. Mm-hmm. But yeah, shout out to Roger Huerta. But remember, he got too big for his britches, tried battling the UFC. You remember what happened to him? They said, very cool, dude. So remember you were main eventing fight nights and we put you on pay-per-views and stuff? Now what we're going to do is we're going to shelf you because you want to fight out your last 2 fights. Very cool. And you're going to go test the free agency? Very cool. Well, that's going to hurt our brand. So what we're going to do is you're on this rocket ship. We're going to pull the fuel from that. You're not going to get to the big star you're trying to get to. We're going to take all the jet fuel out of your rocket ship and we're going to bench you. So you're not relevant. And then when you do fight, we're going to put you on the prelims, and then we're going to give you the worst possible matchup. Good luck. And it ruined Roger Huerta. It ruined him. No one really ever heard of him after that. Went to Bellator. Fucked. I think he still fucked around, won championship, kicking dudes in the face and stuff, but he shaved his head.
He got kicked in the head bad. Like soccer kicked in the head. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's and think of Woodley. I mean, and Diaz, they kept on the shelves forever because of their issues.
I remember that.
But here's the thing: the thing that bothers me most about all this is Francis is what, 32? He's in his absolute prime, dude. Go to Francis Ngannou.
Let's get to age real quick. 35.
He's 35, even more stressful. So he's 35. Mm-hmm. Go to his fights. So in 2021, he fought once. He's in his prime. In 2020, ready? He fought once. And remember, this is all when he starts, hey man, I need more money. He's fighting once. Mm-hmm. He fought twice in 2019. He beat Curtis Blades, Cain Velasquez. God, look at the fucking guys he's beat, man. Curtis Blades, Cain Velasquez, Junior Dos Santos, Rosenstruck, Stipe. Now think about this. You're in the business of paying the bills when you punch guys in the face. That's your MO. That's how you make your monthly nut. Your yearly income is based off punching other grown men in the face in a steel cage, and the UFC gives you a paycheck. In 2020, he worked for 20 seconds. 20 seconds. 20 seconds against Rosenstruck. And in 2021, granted it's a pandemic, he worked for 5 minutes and 52 seconds. So in 2 years, he's worked barely over 6 minutes. That's not a way to get better and create a legacy. That's what happens, man. And then also remember is Stipe and the DC stuff slowed things down. If you remember that. And then remember the Brock Lesnar stuff. DC was going to fight Brock. Remember all that stuff. And then Stipe, because it kind of fucked up Stipe's income too, man. So he's rolling the dice. He's rolling the freaking dice, man. And I hope it works out. And I think for him, the home run would be getting the Fury and the Wilder and the Joshua fights. And hopefully that comes to fruition, because one of those fights will change your life forever. And that's all he's banking on. Because listen, he fights Cyril Gane, doesn't change his life forever. He's hoping in negotiations, if he fights John, it changes his life forever. And hopefully the UFC pays up, but doesn't sound like they're going to. Because again, their business model isn't predicated off superstars anymore. It's just based off of number of fights. How many fights can they provide for ESPN to get that yearly nut? And they're doing that. Whether Francis fights, Stipe fights, Diaz fights, Conor fights, Poirier fights, Izzy fights, Amanda Nunes fights, Juliana Pena, they don't give a fuck, dude. That's not, they were smart. They went, all right, these guys got too much control. We got to make it about the UFC brand, just like the NFL does. No player in this world, including Tom Brady, is bigger than the NFL Shield. Nobody. No coach is more famous. Also, what's interesting about the UFC is when you watch a fight, it has to be one of the only sports in the world where the two guys on the outside of the cage are the most famous men in the building. Joe Rogan and Dana White. Mm-hmm. Two guys not getting punched in the face. It's the only sports business model where the two guys outside the cage that aren't competing are more famous than anybody that enters that octagon. It's crazy, right? Mm-hmm. Good for them. It's crazy, though. No other sports like that. Like Adam Silver's not more famous than LeBron James. Roger Goodell's not more famous than Tom Brady. Those guys get booed left and right. Dana's not getting booed, dude. Dana's on the Full Send podcast and, doing all this shit. And it's brilliant. Those guys he has surrounded by him, they're brilliant, man. Mm-hmm. They keep him current. He's on TikTok dancing and shit. You know what I'm saying? The MLB guy, I don't know who the fuck it is. He's not famous. Mm. But the UFC owner, super famous. He's marking. He's all around. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I'm not hating on it. Good for him, man. Good for him. So France's playing an interesting game. And if you're a fan of fighters, you want him to win. And the way he wins is by knocking out Cyril Gane January 22nd. And you'll be watching that on YouTube, Thick Boy channel, with Chris DiStefano, Chris D'Elia, Brian Kell, and myself. We're all going to celebrate. And I will say, looking at Cyril Gane and the way he moves and stuff like that, and I think a lot of people are putting too much emphasis on the sparring footage that was released. I don't care about any of that. I don't give a flying fuck about any sparring footage. If you remember when Kamaru Usman was going to fight Gilbert Burns, I had people from ATT, I had managers going, dude, I'm telling you, in practice, Gilbert fucked him up. Okay, that's cool. I don't care, man. We're talking, to quote Alan Ashton, we're talking about practice. We're talking about practice because I know I've never seen a single person fuck up Kamaru Usman when the lights are hot and the cameras are rolling. Not never. Also, never seen anybody besides a man named Stipe fuck up Francis Ngannou. I was there in Boston live when Stipe really went to town. Now, also in that fight, I think it changed Stipe's DNA, the way he moves, the quality of life forever because of the shots he ate trying to get Francis down. He ate some fucking shots. I don't think his chin's ever been the same. He ate some motherfucking shots, the best shots, and kept going and mopped the floor with Francis. But I think by Francis at the time, people who were very close friends told me his head got too big. He thought he was untouchable, thought he was going to steamroll through Stipe. I think Dana might have said this on record, but as he's walking to the octagon, he told Dana, get the private jet ready. While he's walking to the octagon to fight Stipe in Boston, he goes, make sure you get that private jet gassed up. I'm going to knock this dude out, jump on that private jet. And Dana's like, okay, Stipe's pretty good. So I think him going through that experience has made Francis a way better fighter, more experience. And I actually think that experience is going to pay off against Cyril Gane, because if you look at who's been in bigger fights when it counts, it's not even close. The biggest fight that Cyril Gane has been is probably that Derek Lewis fight. And that was a UFC 265 pay-per-view. And that was for an interim belt. He looked phenomenal in that fight. I'll give him that. But prior to that, you're talking really fight nights. First fight on the pay-per-view, Junior Dos Santos, he beat older Junior, right? Rosenstruck went decision with, Volkov decision. So he's beat some quality guys, but I'm talking the lights are hot, all the pressure's on the table. Francis has walked through that fire and passed that test many, many of times, and that experience says a lot, man. Because you look at Francis, man. So he's been the main event. You look at the main event. Was he the main event against Alistair Overeem? I don't think so.
No.
Not UFC 218. Obviously, he was the talk of the town because that uppercut from fucking the Congo that he fucking bent down and just uppercut his face off. One of the best knockouts of all time. So he just absolutely destroys Alistair Overeem, gets pretty beat up by Stipe. Then you get the Derek Lewis fight. He learned from that one. Curtis Blades, he smokes in 45 seconds. Cain Velasquez, he absolutely smokes in 26 seconds. But again, he's the main event for Blades Ngannou. He's the main event for Ngannou. Cain Velasquez, he's the main event for Ngannou Dos Santos. He's the main event. And then UFC 249, Francis versus Rosenstruck. He's the big boy there, 20 seconds. Then obviously fighting arguably the best heavyweight of all time, Stipe. He KOs him in the second round. When you're the main event, it's just a different type of pressure. And I usually side with a guy with experience who's battle tested. And when you look at their power, Francis, if this is a video game, is a 10. Cyril Gane is about a 7. Now, if he hits you flush, he's a heavyweight, he's a big athletic guy, he's quick, he's going to knock you out. But I would be willing to bet Francis can make some mistakes, get hit, go, I'm not going to do that again, and the fight continues. Cyril Gane can make no mistakes for 25 minutes inside that octagon. If Francis lands one single punch, that fight is over. And that's scary. That's very scary. So I'm rooting for Francis. I think it's a nightmare of a matchup for him. But I like that Cyril Gane has to be in there for 25 minutes with arguably the hardest hitter of all time in the UFC. And I don't know what the odds are, but I will give my official prediction the week of the fight. Probably do it on the Shab Shorts, where that's just more content, where 7-8 minute video breaking down the specific fight. I would assume Cyril Gane is a slight favorite, maybe?
Minus 120 favorite for...
Ngannou's minus 120.
Yeah. That's super close odds, though. Gane's plus
that's
102.
Damn near even money. Yeah. For an MMA fight, that's even... And that's... I'm completely fine with that. He opened it as a minus 190, but that's even money. Great fight.
Yep.
Great fight. Yeah, I don't care about that training footage. I just don't. Because you have no idea. Like, we don't know if before that Francis was doing the Shark Tank rounds, where those of you that are not familiar with Shark Tank is Francis, let's say, would stay inside the octagon during training, and a fresh guy would come in every 5 minutes while Francis stays in his tire. So did Francis run sprints before that? Did he do a Shark Tank where he's exhausted and Cyril Gane's fresh because he's the new kid on the block, comes in, they don't know how good he is? I got a lot of questions. So I never put too much in that training footage. Never. Even when we had Homeboy on from Brazil. What's his name? Vicente Luque.
Oh.
We had Vicente Luque, and he goes, yeah, Kamaru beat my ass in training. But anyone really knows training really doesn't matter unless you're a grappler. Let's say you're a grappler and your takedown is your thing and you predicate yourself on getting takedowns and you use your best takedown and that guy, you can't get the guy down. That is when it will fuck with you. You're like, shit, I can't get him down. He's seen it. I've given my best shot. Can't get him down. If you're a grappler and that's your only, like that's your bread and butter and you know the guy's takedown defense really good, that will fuck with you. But this training footage, that does nothing for Francis. Nothing. Nothing at all. It's bitch shit to release it. I'm curious who released it.
Unwritten rule, right? Or it's probably written. They talk about all the time not to release footage.
Yeah.
Spark footage.
Talking about practice.
So DraftKings shows Francis is a minus 105 and Cyril is a minus 115.
Ooh, and that's all we care about.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Jack Hermanson, Sean Strickland. I can't wait for my boy Sean Strickland to get back in there.
Crazy dude.
We got to get Sean Strickland on a food truck, Casey. We got our first food truck on Thick Boy. Is it next week? We shoot on the 14th. Big guest. I'll wait till the week of, but yeah, big guest for that one. That's going to be fun. All right, Jim, what do you got?
Real quick, when you were talking about Francis, I remember Woodley. Remember when he was on top of the world and he was always back and forth with Dana and the UFC? And then later on, he was saying, if there's one thing I regret, it's doing that. Yeah, because it wasted so much time and energy.
It's so much energy and time and all the headlines. The headlines aren't about you beating guys up and your next matchup. The headline is you versus the UFC. And then you're going to get some support, but eventually if that's just the narrative over and over, fans are like, come on, dude. At the end of the day, fans, listen, if it shows you make $50,000 to fight, they're like, dude, shut the fuck up. You got 50 grand. It's a ton of money. It's like, it's not though for those guys in the grand scheme of things.
Alrighty. All right. So the rumors are this is a reporter or writer for BJPenn.com. He said that the Tyron Woodley, Jake Paul 2 fight boxing match only generated 65,000 pay-per-view buys. Terrestrial, which means just TV, not including streaming.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of this because I think that guy works for DAZN who released that. Those numbers.
Yeah.
He worked for DAZN, so it's a competing kind of outlet. DAZN doesn't get shit out for how long, and then they're going to get these numbers before, Showtime. And also it's terrestrial, so like I bought on my phone, so I'm sure it's not counting those.
That's streaming.
And you think of the Jake Paul fans, how many are sitting down at a TV and watching it? So scroll down. So this guy at Stephen Mulhausen, at S. Mullenhausen Jr. Someone said completely believable. Add-on digital buys, you're looking at around 100K. The act is wearing thin, which is why he's begging for UFC for access to the stars. They invested tens of millions to cultivate. Says the at Fight Oracle. So this guy this is a fair argument. Only other things that come to mind are 1, no one wanted to see a rematch. I agree with that. 2, that was the 6th combat sport pay-per-view in 6 weeks. Agree. Money's tough. They have 4 boxing, 2 UFC. I don't think boxing really affects that, though, to be honest. And it is overpriced. So there's some argument there, but the 6 pay-per-views in 6 weeks, the boxing ones doesn't affect this. The MMA community is not really paying for those boxing ones. The Jake Paul fans sure as fuck ain't paying for those boxing ones. But I also think, them saying that the low numbers is the way you can attack Jake, because how else can you attack him? He's knocking these guys out. He's taken the world by the balls. He's kind of the cheat code in this old business model of boxing, and he's put it on its head. So it's the popular thing to do to say, oh, it's getting low. He's not doing well. You got to be careful with that stuff. So when I saw that, I was like, 65 seems pretty low. If it's just TV, I can kind of believe it because I think I would. So the guy below him put the Fight Oracle goes, with non-terrestrial TV numbers, you're looking at over 100K. I think it's more in the 120 to 130,000 buys, which still isn't great. Because what the last one do? What the first one do?
Jake said over 500,000.
I think there's something to be said that, I wasn't too excited about this rematch.
You know what, dude? So real quick, just a correction. So that, yeah, you're right. It's a DAZN writer. I mixed it up with the BJPenn.com for some reason.
No, he's a straight DAZN guy.
Yeah.
So you're talking about a competitive streaming service shitting on another one?
Yeah, and also I read something on MMA Fighting where they also have sources, and they're saying it's supposed to be way more than that. So something's off.
I would go more towards MMA Fighting.
Yeah, of course.
Because I've never heard of this guy, and he works for DAZN.
Writer for DAZN.
Yeah, and DAZN, you don't talk about the Titanic of fight leagues. When we talk about a cracked ship, when it comes to fighting, I think they have their hand in the battles.
And this is Jake here.
So Jake put the pay-per-view number rumors are complete bullshit. I said complete, but he says rumors are bullshit. First fight with Woolley, we sold 500K plus. Numbers for this one are still rolling in, but still looking positive. Not my best business night, but remember, everyone wanted to see me versus Fury, and that's what we sold. Shout out to Showtime for riding with me and all the fighters on the card, and for Woodley for not being a bitch like most of these fighters are.
And there's MMA Fighting.
Going from a split decision, okay. Yeah, I'm not buying the 65,000. Just not in any facet.
Yeah. That's insanely low.
From 565, and then they're like, yeah, because there's so many boxing pay-per-views. It's like, no one's watching that, dude.
And Chael Sonnen said something on I don't know if it's a podcast, but he said something like, one of the reasons he think it could be is because the first fight was on a Sunday and this was on a Saturday. So people thought it was going to be on a Sunday, something like that.
Now, these are guys literally, it's a cool thing to do to shit on Jake Paul. And I get it. I completely get it. I'm not buying 65,000.
No.
At all. I bet it was around high hundreds. Probably, I bet after all said and done, 200.
Yeah,
fair.
100, 200 sounds more right. Like, at least 100. Right. At least 100.
100, I would bet my last dollar that he did over 100.
Alrighty, well, you know about this already, but Dana White and Jake Paul have been going back and forth, issuing challenges to each other. And Dana White started with this one because apparently Jake
where
Paul
did
kept
it start?
saying,
Dana calling him out?
He called him out because Jake Paul says that Dana White does cocaine.
Okay.
All right, so then Dana White responded with this.
And did he tweet this out or he put a video out?
I think it was Instagram.
Okay, so Dan put, I got a challenge for Jake Paul. This guy keeps saying that I'm a cokehead. He can randomly cocaine test me for the next 10 years. If I can randomly steroid test him for the next 2.
10 versus 2.
Interesting.
Yeah. And Jake didn't really respond to that challenge. He just gave him another challenge.
But happy New Year, Dana White. Here's a real challenge for you. I will immediately retire from boxing and fight Jorge Masvidal in the UFC if you agree to increase the minimum pay fighter to $50K. It's $12K right now. Guarantee UFC fighters 50% of UFC annual revenues, $1 billion in 2021, their best year ever. Provide long-term health care to all fighters. You previously said brain damage is part of the gig. Imagine the NFL said that. There are many UFC alums who have publicly said they are suffering from brain damage. Facts. You have 5 days to accept and to implement the above by March 31st. Once implemented, I will immediately retire from boxing, enter USADA, and agree to a one-fight deal with the UFC and fight Weak Chin George. To all UFC fighters, time to take a stand and create value for yourselves and peers. You deserve higher pay, you deserve long-term health care, and above all, you deserve freedom. Support each other. I'm not your enemy. I'm your advocate who selfishly wants to KO a few of you to make some big bank. Fair point. And then there's videos, right?
Yeah, so Dana White, I'll just play this entire video. It's not that long.
Jake, you never responded to the challenge. You publicly stated that I use cocaine. I do not. So I told you could randomly cocaine test me for the next 10 years.
Yeah, I don't think Dana uses cocaine.
I believe that you're a cheater.
Cokehead.
And I believe that you use steroids. So I want to randomly steroid test you for the next 2 years. And that thing that you came out with today, nobody on earth thinks that you really wrote that. You're too stupid. And for those of you that don't know, if you've ever watched one of his fights and you see when they do the stare down, the guy that's standing in the middle with the warlock nose and the big warlock wart on his face, apparently that's his manager. And that guy used to be an accountant for me. And let's just say this, he no longer works for me, and I think he's a scumbag. But if you two think that you can do it better than we do, we're doing this whole thing wrong, you could treat the fighters better than we do, knock yourself out. Go start your own business. It's easy to do. Go get the Warlock on it. The Warlock can get it started for you. What you and the Warlock should be focused on is your business. You're tanking. You can't sell pay-per-views. You're calling out Jorge Masvidal because he's a pay-per-view superstar. Nate Diaz, Conor McGregor, Mike Tyson. These are all superstars. You're not. You can't sell pay-per-views. So you do whatever the hell you want to do. I'm ready to roll, buddy. I don't use cocaine. Do you use steroids? Let's do this, Jake. Jake.
Let me see Jake's.
I mean, hold on. There's a bunch of stuff here, so.
Do we have the Jake video though?
We have some of them, yeah.
It's probably on his Instagram.
I have it here.
Yeah, let me see his Instagram.
Hold up. It's
He
on
made
here.
like a straight up video with like edits and shit.
Hold on, let me load this again.
It's a Brinks truck. I think Chris was the first one to do that.
So there's a part
That's
one
it,
and a part two. Let's do part one first.
My response to Dana White's embarrassing response.
Responded to the challenge.
Dana, I accepted every part of your challenge. I said I would fight Masvidal in MMA. Steroid test me whenever the fuck you want. It is 2 weeks after my fight, and I am a fat bitch. I don't do steroids, and I take it as a compliment because there's no other excuse to me knocking out all of your champions than this kid does steroids. Look at me. Look at that. A fat bitch. If you steroid test me, then I want to steroid test every one of your fighters. Ooh, you want to do it though, will you?
I use cocaine.
I'm in St. Bart's, one of the nicest beaches in the world. You're ruining my vacation. We were on a yacht party last night, Meek Mill, Drake, everybody, Mike Tyson going crazy. You have been caught with cocaine and hookers every other week.
I use cocaine.
And you think that, like, with all the money that you have, like billionaire or some shit, that you would get some fucking Botox? Because your forehead looks like a motherfucking GPS Google map, like all the lines in it and shit.
I use cocaine.
And you say Masvidal is a pay-per-view superstar. Let's go to his last Instagram post. 5,000 likes or 10,000 likes or some shit. Do you realize that my mom, Pam, gets more likes than your pay-per-view superstars? Men lie, women lie, Dana White lies, numbers don't. You want to talk shit about my manager, who is the CFO of your company, that helped you sell it to Endeavor, $4 billion?
Guy that's standing in the middle, apparently that's his manager. And that guy used to be an accountant for me.
You're just a jealous, ugly fuck. You don't know what true happiness is. You're the definition of a fucking unhappy billionaire who thought that money was gonna make their lives better. I feel bad for you.
I use cocaine.
Long story short, you addressed nothing that I said. I accepted your challenge. I said I would fight MMA. I said that I would retire from boxing, and you avoided all of that shit. Hold on. Also, instant replay, there was a fucking UFO in the back of this video. Side note, Joe Rogan, aliens, we're all fucked. It shows that you are in a corner. You're a dog in a corner trying to fight to save his whole company and the embarrassment that I've put you through. Everybody sees it, and what you can't accept or love or appreciate is that I'm trying to change the sport forever, and you are one of the most selfish, capital.
Part two?
Oh, yeah. 40 seconds.
Are one of the most selfish, capitalistic motherfuckers that I've ever seen. And everybody else needs you, Dana. I'm the only person that doesn't need you. And I don't give a fuck about you. But all these people, all your fighters, all of them, they can't say shit because you'll just bench them. You met your maker. I'm not going to stop. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen.
I use cocaine.
The bottom line, Dana, is that you won't add health care for your fighters because you don't give a fuck about them. And you're too much of a greedy bitch to pay your minimum fighter more than $12,000 for risking their lives, which is what a janitor makes. You need to pay them $50,000, Dana. Stop avoiding my points. Are one of the most...
There you go.
Oh, man. So this is what happens when, how old's Dan? Damn near 60? Has to be mid-50s.
What?
Yeah,
No, dude.
It has to be 50-something, right?
I'm saying maybe early 50s or late 40s.
I'm saying it has to be 50.
Let's see.
51?
52.
So Dana's fit. So this is what happens when a 52-year-old decides to attack and go at a guy in Jake Paul who literally has the YouTube social media world by the fucking balls. So Dana's video, Dana's video it's like, if my dad FaceTimed me, like, Dad, I don't need to see up your nose. So it's like a bad lighting. He's clearly like in his mansion or whatever. It's just bad lighting. He doesn't address anything that Jake asked for, right? So it's like he's kind of rambling a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then Jake he's obviously in St. Bart's partying for New Year's. And someone tells him, Dana Post, he goes, what? He shoots this video, sends it to his team, who all they do is make content and cut and create, and literally just wrecks Dana White in this because he's using graphics and references and edits him saying, I use cocaine. It's like, this is a 10-6 round for Jake Paul, man. Easily. So for Dana White, it doesn't do him any justice. Again, Dana's the most famous person in the UFC because he does this stuff and he actually enjoys it, and which is fine. I've no issue with that. But it's like, if you're gonna jump in this pool, have the team ready to go, because you're fucking with these millennials, man. Like, when even fighters, these younger fighters, when they talk shit, it's so ugly, man. There's like, they pull no cards. There's no. The rules of baseball, the rules of fighting are out the window with these young kids, man. And for Jake Paul, especially, and Logan Paul, it's just the markers are off, man. And they're willing to go and do whatever it takes. And their team is the best in the world at editing and doing these things. So you're taking Dana, who is video, a little rambly. It's one take. It's the shots from his nose up. It's like a Blair Witch Project type of view. And Jake Paul's on vacation and spitting facts, and then they're throwing up the graphics, and it's just so much more produced, and his points a lot more cleaner. So it's a 10-6 round for Jake Paul. If I'm Dana, this isn't, we're talking about it, so I get it, but this isn't the route you want to go. But also, I think with Dana doing this and him addressing Jake Paul, it only makes Jake Paul bigger. It only makes him, it's building this momentum for Jake Paul. So he's playing to the exact hand that Jake Paul wants. And is he ever going to get steroid tested? No. Is Dana ever going to go, okay, Jake, I'll do that, and then you test me for cocaine and I'll pay fighters more? Is that ever happening? No. But in hindsight, there's not one person that watches Jake Paul's video and doesn't go, has some points.
And it's entertaining and funny.
He was real quick. He was a fucking UFO.
That was good.
Yeah, that was good. 10-6 for Jake Paul. Yeah, this isn't you're playing a game, man, and you're playing it with the guys who have a team who specialize in this, Mm-hmm. Like, Dana's a little bit out of his lane in this, and that video the difference between those two videos can show more there to a 52-year-old man trying to compete with a 20 whatever he is kid, and he was born on the YouTube. I was born on the YouTube. You know what I'm saying? He's like Bane. He's born in the YouTube, born in the darkness, man. He thrives in that. So Dana's jump into that, and they're editing it and fucking him, making him look stupid. It's bad angles. He's clowning the wrinkles in his forehead. Google Maps.
That was a good video.
Yeah. 10-6, Jake Paul.
Okay, we'll get off the Paul brothers in a sec. But so Logan Paul says that Floyd Mayweather never paid him for the fight. Right? 6 months later, still hasn't got paid for the fight.
Weird.
Yeah.
According to Daily Star, Floyd Mayweather earned so much from Logan Paul fight, he could buy Jeff Bezos' jet. Paul, who fought Mayweather last year in what could only be considered a novelty fight extravaganza, responded thusly on social media. Great word, Sunday. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the dirty little rat hasn't paid me yet. It's been 6 months, and Happy New Year to you, sir. But no worries, Floyd Mayweather, Paul added. KSI and I are going to make back the money you stole from me and more January 4th. So he just hasn't paid him.
That's what he's saying. That's what he's claiming. And remember,
well, I'm
Floyd,
sure he hasn't been paid because he got paid. There's no story. Yeah.
But Floyd also, remember when he first signed this fight, he was like, it's like a bank robbery kind of thing, whatever. Yeah. I don't know how much that,
That's not good.
Yeah.
And that Showtime produced it, but it was a Money Mayweather
probably promotion or whatever.
So they control all the money. So that's a bad look on Floyd's part. Yeah, you got to pay him for God's sakes. Yeah. But Logan Paul, KSI, really?
I just barely found that out today. So apparently they're going to announce the fight that they're doing, the third fight on January 4th, which is tomorrow. So yeah, I don't know.
Another fight I don't want to see.
Honestly, same.
I guess the YouTubers want to see it. I don't know.
They did enormous, I think, the first time, or the first and second, but I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. Okay, this is Tony Ferguson saying that he has a fight with Chandler, but then Chandler's delaying it, like not signing it or whatever. So Chandler was responding to someone else. Chandler responding to someone that asked, like, if you were going to fight Conor, would you strike or wrestle? And he goes, I would strike. And then Ferguson wrote this underneath.
Here's my bitch at Mike Chandler MMA. The brass Dana White relayed your message saying you would be ready to fight me in April or June. Looks like you're trying to delay that ass whooping. I owe you for cutting in line, kid. It's wrestling season, motherfucker. Man up, champ. I would watch the shit out of that fight.
Yeah.
It's a tough fight for Tony.
Exactly, dude. That's exactly what I'm thinking.
And then did
there you go.
Oh, Tony. There's only a handful of guys in this game I truly respect. You're one of them. Only because your tenure, not your stature, or your current presence in the division. I'll beat you from bell to bell. Pray for merciful ref. We shall see if this fight happens. I think for Chandler, right? His last fight was the title fight, right?
Yeah. I'm blanking right now to say Oliveira. He got dropped.
Oh no,
by
Justin
Oliveira.
Gaethje.
Yeah.
He got dropped by.
That was a great fight with Justin Gaethje.
Yeah. So yeah, great fight with Chandler. Great fight with Gaethje, but he's 0-2. So I think he wanted to do. He was hoping for a Dustin Poirier fight, but Poirier's trying to get the Diaz fight. So I think Chandler's just waiting it out to see if he gets the Poirier fight. If the Diaz fight falls out, that's all he's doing. But Chandler versus fucking Ferguson, sign me up. Very tough fight for Tony though.
Yeah.
In his current.
Seriously, that's like probably one of the worst matchups I would imagine.
Tough night in the office. But you never know.
Yeah, you never know. So speaking of Diaz, there's the other Diaz brother, Nick Diaz. Dana White pretty much openly said that he doesn't think Nick even wants to do it. It's like going to work and bumper to bumper traffic. He has to do it. So that's why he wants to fight.
Yep.
Yeah, so he's saying he shouldn't fight again.
Yeah, the rumor is he owes someone money. It gets dark.
Wow.
Yeah, it gets really dark. Now, these are all rumors.
Of course.
Rumors he did it to pay something back. He doesn't want to do it, but he has to. So regardless of how good he looked or what he did after such a huge layoff, I don't think Nick should fight. It's not that I was in favor of it. He's a grown man, can do whatever he wants to do. I just don't think that Nick does it because he loves it. I think Nick does it because he has to do it. I don't know, man. People always ask me what's the key to success. It's all about being happy and doing what you love.
And then
when I was talking about the people who sit in bumper to bumper traffic and go to a job they hate, that's what I feel like Nick Diaz when he's getting ready for a fight. White said he's in bumper to bumper traffic going to a job that he doesn't love at all. It's actually fascinating. But for a guy that's been off as long as he has, nothing but respect for Nick. I agree with him.
Yeah, you kind of have to, right? He doesn't look like he ever wants to.
Yeah, rumor is, that's the dark web rumor. He owed some
money.
Yep.
Well, that's
but
shitty.
hopefully not. Hopefully he's just doing it because he want to get back in there. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, and it was weird because he looked super good. Remember in his Instagram photos when he was like getting cut up, but then when he showed up for the fight,
different.
Yeah, like what the hell happened?
I don't know. Yeah, it's all fascinating.
All right, your boy Sugar Sean O'Malley. He made a video going to Walmart and handing people $100 bills or $100.
Love Sugar Sean O'Malley. So he was handing out $100 cash to strangers at Walmart for Christmas.
Yeah. Which is a very nice act, you know?
Hell yeah. That's great, man.
But one of his rivals, Cheeto, another great guy, Cheeto Marlon Vera, he goes this. You don't need a camera guy to help you.
I love Cheeto. I just talked to him yesterday. But you don't need a camera guy to help you, you piece of shit.
Just simple as that, dude.
Then scroll down. But yeah, giving out money, some people didn't like it. O'Malley said, like this one guy tweeted something like, you give money out without, you don't need a camera guy. What was it? Well, first of all, it's my sister. She's a girl. Don't be sexist. Girls can record videos too. No respect. All right. You don't need a camera guy to help people, you piece of shit. I know that, to be honest. I was actually taken back by that. I thought if I did it without recording it, the people I gave it to wouldn't care. I thought the people I gave $100 to had to have a camera there for them to care. So that was my fault, and I actually learned something today. I gave homeless guy $20. I didn't record it. He didn't care. Maybe he's onto something. Maybe I'm onto something. I don't know. I thought it was pretty fun. I enjoyed it. I had a good feeling in my heart giving money to those people. Still feel like a good person, even if I'm a piece of shit. Still felt like a good person. Yeah, dude, it's... how you gonna hate on a guy giving out money to people? I mean, if you want to film it, I mean, that's cool.
I know. I always had a weird feeling about that, but at the end of the day, you're helping people, so that's what matters.
At the end of the day, those people, whether you record or not, still got $100 cash, which for a lot of people is a big deal.
And you're also inspiring people to do the same thing. So even though
people hate on, did you give out $100?
I know.
If you did and didn't film it, then you can talk shit. But did you give out $100? You didn't?
Yeah. It's a weird thing. I'm a little torn, but
yeah.
At the end of the day, you're helping people.
Correct.
That's what matters the most. Yeah. Okay, so Sean O'Malley says that, Conor obviously did the proper 12 that you talked about earlier. So he wants to do the same type of thing with marijuana, which sounds like it's a perfect match, right?
Yeah, and take it from your boy here, the whiskey game, what Conor did. He has some smart guys on his team with the distribution, stuff like that, and that's half the battles, the distribution. And
you said it was a beast.
We just figured everything, right? Yeah, super beast to go through all that, and then with the laws and regulations of alcohol getting each state and worldwide, it's a beast, man. And I don't have the connection to get it done. So thank God I have the team that I have, and Conor has a very smart team around him who got that done. Now we talk about marijuana, same thing. You're talking about federal laws. You're talking about marijuana. It's legal in some states, not legal in other states. So you have to get with the right business partner. I do think that could be a huge business for Sugar Sean. I can't believe someone hasn't come to the Diaz brothers and created a Diaz brothers strain.
They do a CBD, I think, but I don't know about strains.
I'm talking straight up Mike Tyson farm style. Because if the Diaz and Sugar Sean got together, they could do some special stuff. Yeah. And I don't know anybody who wouldn't take them on.
And I'm sure we all know people that have been in the weed game. Like the ones that I know of, they're so freaking rich. Like
they're rich, and most of them they're not like you would think. I don't know what you guys think when we think of marijuana, but it's not like they're these pothead.
No.
The people I know who make bank in marijuana are like straight businessmen, and it's no different than, hustling fucking painkillers or T-shirts or shoes, or they're just businessmen and they see the upside to it and they get invested. And when you get a business guys of sharks, they have the connections to do it worldwide, and that's when you're selling for $100 million.
Yeah, and also weed is not like painkillers are terrible, but weed is actually good. For a lot of people, Correct. It's really
and
good.
Tons of people use it, and it's sanctioned in a lot of states.
Yep.
But yeah, when you get into alcohol sales, man, you're talking about
it's a headache.
Getting the Texas Alcohol Commission to Florida to New York to California. California's the toughest, but it's my home state compared to Denver, compared to Montana. It's just everywhere's different.
But it's a dope whiskey, and that's like one of the coolest freaking labels.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's gonna,
Tell me it's not the best looking up.
I honestly think it is.
Come on, dog. Come on.
Real quick one about Sean O'Malley as well. Cody Garbrandt says that he would want him to be his next fight, even though he moved down to 125. He said his next fight he'll go back to 135.
And that's why I said after Cody lost, which was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Now more so than ever, it makes the most sense for each guy.
Yeah.
For Sugar Sean, who he has the one loss Cheeto, but coming off two big victories. For Cody Garbrandt, obviously he's fallen on tough times, but still former champ, still a big name. Everyone wants to say Cody hasn't fought anybody, or say Sugar Sean hasn't fought anybody. Cody Garbrandt's still ranked, I think, top 10. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's a great fight. Tough fight for both guys, I think.
It's a tough fight.
Yeah. Okay, we were just talking about Sean Strickland. He said something else crazy, as per usual. He said if he had a gay son, then he has failed as a man. But then he's responding to someone on Twitter. So this guy asked this.
Sean, would you rather have a gay son or a thought daughter? He put, if I had a gay son, I would think I failed as a man to create such weakness. If I had a whore for a daughter, I think she just wanted to be like her dad. He's being funny.
He's being funny.
Then obviously they're going to run with it.
And then he did this.
Listen, gay men are great. I support them in their choice freedom. Gays have made it. Most gays I know are always happy. They all just get to hang with buddies all day and have sex. As straight men, we're fucked. We got to do something serious work to get laid. Not fair. Yeah, I agree. And that's part of my bit, man. How much easier my life would be if I was just gay as shit. Yeah, I think Sean's being funny there. That's all that is.
Yeah.
I won't break it down too much. He's just being funny there.
Exactly. If he just tweeted that out, just this is how I feel, no one asked him a question, it'd be a little different. Yeah.
That'd be tough.
Alrighty. This is another crazy one. So this guy used to fight in the UFC. His name was Hori Payne. Anyways, he used to fight in the UFC, and he said the way that he got his money to start martial arts is by doing sex work in Japan with another dude. Like, had to jack him off.
Damn.
He was just
there's other ways to make money.
And plus, he has like 14-something thousand followers. He was just being honest. He just opened up about it.
On what?
Huh?
On Instagram?
On his Twitter.
Japanese star 26 just he was talked in a painful experience by a friend 5 years ago. Keeps going down.
Mm-hmm.
At just 21, the budding martial artist claimed he went through with the actor earned 130 pounds, more than he would have pocketed in 2 days at his part-time job to help kickstart his career. I mean, how bad you want it, man? Sharing the story with his 14,000 Twitter followers, He claims 5 years ago when I was with a friend, I was told that I could get money for a sex act in Shibuya. I followed him. I was told to hide my face. I was deceived in various ways. I didn't have the money and really wanted to do martial arts on my own. He got 20,000 or
Yen.
130 pounds in less than an hour, but it was pretty big gig. I was able to start martial arts in a short time. You see the amount of 2 days part-time work that I do for 8 hours while standing. Nicknamed the Rising Star, called the experience painful, but was happy to be able to chase his dreams. It's pretty painful now, but as long as I'm alive, I can chase my dreams. And I like women, dude. But I like women. I've earned the money to live, to do martial arts. He's 8-2, 5 KOs. He lost his last fight.
Oh, that was in 2019.
He's won the last 3 fights in Rise, including a victory over Nakata last month. Good for him.
Yeah. So, I mean, he just opened up about it.
Yeah, I mean, I did. I just wanted to fucking fight. Now, are we sure it was just to jack the guy off? Who said that?
I heard it somewhere. Someone wrote an article that said he was just
I don't know if someone's paying that much just for a hand job.
That's 130?
130 pounds.
I don't know how much that is.
I think that's almost $300, right?
Let's see.
175.
I'm sorry about United.
Yeah, dude, I don't think, because he could just go to a bathhouse or he could go to any massage parlor in fucking China and get jacked off for $30.
I don't know. But I mean, he's just being open. That's interesting that he even.
So it's $146.
Yeah. Well, if it's euros. I'm not sure if pounds, euros, or not. But anyways, okay. So speaking of money, Mark Hunt. This is on BJP. I think this is where I got mixed up. So
again, another guy who went to battle with the UFC.
Yes,
and
still in the battle.
The reason the UFC is so powerful, they're the best lawyers in the goddamn game. Those UFC contracts are fucking airtight.
Yeah.
There's no hiccups in them. There's nothing like that. They know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
So Hunt says Mark Hunt ordered to pay the UFC over $375K in legal fees, and they're going to come after you, man. So Hunt filed a lawsuit in the UFC shortly following his fight with Brock Lesnar at UFC 200. Super Simone claimed that the promotion put in the cage with a fighter who he says the UFC knew was using PEDs. Brock Lesnar. Court case was originally dismissed in 2019. However, the appeals court decided to reopen the case on fraud and battery September 2021. Mark Hunt addressed his small victory by suggesting that some justice has been served. This is Mark Hunt talking. He said, "You fucker said to me many moons ago, if I was a gambling man, and I will ask you here the same question because you ain't ever going to get rid of me. I'm a motherfucking gangster. I got the rusty fork waiting for all you bitch ass eyeballs. Dana White, you better kill me, brah. You ain't going anywhere, G. You and your little pussy friends, you bitches have stolen from so many of us fighters and our families. Finally, just about to be start. For you punk motherfuckers, enjoy it, bitch. All those who scoffed and laughed at me, said all sorts of shit, you all can kiss my black ass. You filthy coward fucks."
Yeah. So then afterwards, he was apparently, this is according to BJPen.com. They said that he was ordered.
But unfortunately for Hunt, his small victory against Dana White in the UFC was short-lived. As per a recent report from Combat Sports Law, the knockout artist has been ordered to pay the UFC over $375K in legal fees. Oof.
And that's I guess the order.
It's actually $388,000. That's not fun.
So Mark Hunt even said something about BJPen.com saying where'd you guys get your information? That's not true. But I guess because he's filing appeals, so it's not 100%.
Yeah. He's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And then he wanted to do this. He wrote this right here.
Mark this. Oh man. All right. Mark the Super Simone versus Dana, the Parasite, White, Lorenzo Fertitta, and Frank Fertitta. 5 rounds MMA. These losers, Dana White, Frank Fertitta, Lorenzo has sucked the life out of so many fighters. Him and his scum friends. You win, I drop the lawsuit. I win, you pay every fight you have ripped off since UFC started. Now who would pay to see that? Yeah, it's not happening.
I know.
Fun post though.
Yeah. All right. Here's a quick update. Not much information, but a quick update on Anthony Johnson and Bellator. So he's still dealing with his medical issue. I mean, I'm sure you heard rumblings about what it could be.
I talked to Anthony Johnson about it.
Yeah. So at this point, they don't know when he's going to come back, but he's like, we'll talk as soon as your health is better.
Yeah, it's major health screen.
Yeah.
Major. Hopefully he's okay.
Definitely. All right. So this happened over the weekend. Tenshin Nasukawa and Takanori Gomi apparently ended in a draw. I didn't watch it, but it ended in a draw. And also over the weekend was this. This is actually pretty popular. Fury Pro Grappling 3
But
with a lot of
who had to pull out? Rose?
Rose. And then the reason why she pulled out, all that says is like COVID protocols. So I don't know if she was around someone with COVID or
so
something.
maybe she got the COVID.
I don't know. But
Maybe she got the Cove.
could potentially.
Carlos Esparza, she actually opened up her eye too. Damn, that Danielle Kelly. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, she's very pretty.
Yeah. Damn, Sean Brady beat Craig Jones.
That was like a huge upset. Yeah.
That's huge.
And then Donald Cerrone got rear naked choked.
Yeah, so that's a tough one.
Clay
Guida beat Billy Quintino.
Decision.
Jacinto beat Chase Hooper. That's a shame.
And then Neil Magny got beat too.
Oh, Neil Magny. Mm-hmm. Guillotine. Wow.
Alex Caceres.
Damn, this is cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of like.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's sick.
It's pretty cool. And then, so there's some footage of this. This reminded me of your thing with Cyborg. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see here. So apparently he was super entertaining, Kevin Holland, as per usual,
Yeah,
right?
makes sense.
So I'll play you this one.
All right, halfway through our final prelim. Don't forget to be signed up over at USG Fight Pass. Oh, he's grabbed the neck as he drives in. Holland trying to get a little squeeze at the edge here before they fall off the sand.
Man, we should just leave it like a street fight. Let them fight onto the table, out into the crowd. How fun would that be?
Well, we are in the former ECW arena, Paul Felder. Many a street fight.
And Paul Felder was the analyst?
Wow.
Wow.
My barber was
UFC let all the boys do it.
Weapon night years back. And yeah, that didn't end well.
I think that was probably more CZW.
Interesting.
That's what reminded me of your
That looks
match.
fun.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Pretty cool, for sure.
Cyborg is in a bit of trouble now. He is not doing well.
Oh, well, that sucks.
We won't get into it, but he's not doing well.
There's Carlos.
Well, she's not fighting for a title anytime soon.
That is pretty deep, dude.
Yeah.
So accidental
That's
headbutt.
scar tissue. She's all, whoops.
What?
She's all,
I know. Yeah, that sucks, dude. Okay, so a couple of fight announcements. Kai France, who just beat Cody.
Ooh.
He's fighting Askar.
It's a great
Askarov.
fight.
Yep.
Great fight.
And then we have Marlon Moraes versus Song Yadong, Uriah Faber's dude, who's really good, really good. And you like this one?
No, I'm at that.
Irene Aldana, Aspen Ladd.
Yeah.
And, well, Scott Coker is targeting. He wants, because Katzengano has been calling out Cyborg for a while now. So he's like, that's most likely going to be the next
That'd
fight.
be great.
Yep. And then this one here. So I wasn't that familiar with Yaroslav Amosov, but he's a killer.
Monster.
And that's the one that they're trying to put up against Michael Venom Page
He's an
now.
ATT guy, yeah.
Check out his record.
Yeah, he's a fucking monster.
26-0, yeah.
So he just beat Douglas Lima, too. Wow.
Yeah, so that's a huge fight for Michael Venom Page.
Well, it'd be for the title.
Yeah. I'm
He's the
saying it's
title
like a tough fight.
Holy fuck, that guy beat Ed Ruth, too. Gerald Harris, Eric Silva, David Rickles, Ed Ruth, Douglas Lima. Yeesh.
Freaking killer, yeah.
That's going to be a tough night in the office for our boy, man.
Yep.
He's 26-0?
26-0.
Jesus Christ.
Yep.
That's tough. Good amount of submissions, too.
He seems like a well-rounded dude, yeah.
Fuck yeah, man. That's a tough night in the office.
For sure. Okay. So I don't know if you remember this because we had the headphones off. I think this is the one. So Michael Bisping was interviewing Ricky Simone. And then I guess after he won that fight against Rafael Assunção, Michael Bisping said something like, "Oh, you beat your first ranked opponent." And then Ricky Simone corrected him. Like, no, I beat a ranked guy before.
Yeah.
And Bisping didn't really like that because I guess he thought he was making him trying to look stupid or whatever on the air.
But also there's producers in there, so maybe the producers.
Yes, that's exactly what Bisping said. He said the producer is the one that told him that.
Yeah, there you go. Bisping was asked recently Q&A on his YouTube page. He goes, "I've beaten ranked guys before." Bisping said, well, you definitely weren't ranked because he wasn't ranked. He's trying to make me look silly. I'm literally relaying the information that I was told to say by the producer."
Yep.
"So how you direct your venom at him? I tell him not to be such a little shit." Oh, wow. Maybe he didn't want to be corrected. Simone Simon told MMA Fight, "I mean, is there a rule that I'm not allowed to correct him on air or something? I don't know if there is. Maybe I shouldn't have said something after, but this is my life. This is what I put everything into. And I do, all right. And I have the receipts. I fought a ranked guy before. I beat a ranked guy. I was ranked before. I just thought I would clear that up."
Yeah, he says like no ill will. He didn't know why Bisping's upset about it. It's just kind of like,
Yeah, Bisping shouldn't be upset.
No, exactly.
Actually, it's not Bisping's mistake.
It's the producer, yeah.
Yes, but the producer's the one, yeah.
feeding. Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's
telling him
what
what's
it is
going
then.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, that was a quick one. This is a very sad one. BJ Penn's father passed away.
JD Penn. That's tough for BJ, man.
I guess he was dealing with Parkinson's, Alzheimer's.
Eesh, that's a shame, man.
And then like literally almost all the big MMA stars, showed love.
Yeah, it's a bummer,
BJ.
man. Thanks for giving me the greatest life I ever had. Always hugging me and making me breakfast. Jesus Christ.
I know.
Shout out to BJ and his dad, man.
Yep.
Is his dad white?
That's the thing I discovered about this post too. I thought he had two Hawaiian, like straight up Hawaiian parents, but I guess he's white.
Well, that's cool.
Or he looks white at least.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
What a legend. That's a tough post for him, I bet.
I know.
Poor BJ.
We'll lighten it up right now.
BJ's running for governor too of Hawaii.
He was, he's definitely trying.
He still is, yeah.
Your boy Roy McDonald. I follow him on Instagram and he posts like him working out. But check out his gym. Interesting, right? It's so small.
Yeah, it'd be tough to move in there.
I mean, it's really, really small. But yeah, that's his gym. I just thought that was interesting.
Well, it's a home gym and his kiddos doing it.
Yeah, kiddos.
That's cute. His jammies say, time to hibernate. Time to hibernate. Shows a little cute bear on there.
Yeah.
The kids are cute as fuck, man.
He has a very adorable family.
What's he have, two?
Yeah, I think he has a daughter and a son.
Yeah, I think he has two.
I mean, his family, it looks like a...
There they are.
Yeah, it's like
super
always like
cute.
a portrait, a beautiful portrait.
Yeah, goddamn, they look good.
Yeah.
Is that cowboy hat on too?
Yep.
Yes, wife's a diamond.
His wife is so beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Roy McDonald, you know?
Let's see. I think that's it, dude.
Is that it?
Yeah.
All right, man. Fun show. First one in the books. Really, it's 267 is what we said?
Yeah, 267 as of today, but then there's more.
Yeah,
obviously.
there's more. But first one on our own with the Thick Boy production crew here, Chin and Casey and Mike and the whole squad getting it together. Shout out to Florida. Had a great time bringing the New Year's in Dania, Florida. Great club. 2 shows coming up this week. LA this freaking Wednesday night, one show only. Very, very special guest. One of the funniest people that is in my life will be making a special guest appearance Wednesday night, one show only. The others, we have Sam Tripoli, Brian Callen, Chappelle Lacey, Eric Griffin, huge special guests, and myself, one night, one show, 8 p.m., Hollywood Improv, Los Angeles, California, right off Melrose, right there, one show only. Those tickets will sell out, so get them right now. And then also this week, starting Thursday, Raleigh, North Carolina is January 6th through January 8th. That's this Thursday, Friday, Saturday in Raleigh, North Carolina. Get your tickets at fatkz.com. Like and subscribe to the Thick Boy YouTube if you're enjoying this show and your RSS audio feeds stay exactly the same. Thank you for riding with your thick friend. Thank you for watching this on the Thick Boy YouTube. Then also, like I told you, we launched the Supercast. You can get every show that I do ad-free. We got 2 different tiers. The first tier, you get the Shop Show, Food Truck, Calabasas Fight Companion. You get AMAs. You get the classic Fight Companions where I'm going to watch my old school UFC fights, the Conor fights, Izzy fights, Ronda fights, Brock Lesnar fights. You get a special Calabasas classic Fight Companion ad-free as well on there. The second tier, you get all that, plus Fighting the Kid twice a week, ad-free, video, audio. Go sign up for Supercast right now to get every single thing that I do ad-free. Appreciate you guys. Stay thick, stay safe, like, subscribe, go to the Supercast right now. See you next week.